All right.
Let me see.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick introduction. And yeah,
Hey.
Crystal, you still owe me. I'll talk to you later. Um, we're gonna do a quick introduction, and then we'll go ahead and get to the conversation, so you can get back to having fun. So
Yes.
yeah. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching, for listening to RDC Speak Life Sessions. My name is Rodney. I'm the host and creator of the show. Make sure you rate this podcast and like it on Apple, Spotify, Google, and everywhere you can find podcasts. Subscribe to it, share it. And I want to welcome the 11 countries that now subscribe to the podcast. So thank you very much. Today, I have a very, very special guest with me. She knows me probably better than I think anyone on this planet. She's an expert in her field, been teaching for, I won't say how long, but she has enough experience in the industry to be able to talk on this subject that we're going to talk about today. Without further ado, I want to welcome, and she's having a good time right now, so she decided to be interviewed too. So she's not at home with me doing this interview, but my wife, Falanda Collins, the epic, what is it?
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, see, you heard that. So everybody show some love for her. You know, you can do fist bumps, whatever. So thank you and welcome to the show.
My colleagues are giving fist bumps in the background. You may hear them from time to time.
All
You
right.
will not see them, but you may hear them.
Well, how was the drive in the traffic to go over there?
Oh, it was good. It was good. It's not coming back our way. So it was a straight shot and no issues or problems. It was steady going.
Okay, well, if you want, you can even move the phone back a little bit further so everybody can see you a little bit. Yeah, see.
Okay. Let me see if I can put it right here.
Yeah.
And then
No. The lighting. No, now the lighting just went bad. We can't even see you now. It's like you too far.
okay, well I'm gonna have to hold it.
Okay, well you can hold it then. All right, that's fine. We'll just do it. I won't keep you too long, but everyone, this is my wife, and she is an educator. She is a very good teacher. She is visiting right now with a couple colleagues of hers. I won't mention their names to protect the innocent.
Yes,
I don't know what would happen afterward. But we're going to talk about how everybody is teaching, and the parents are dealing with, teaching at home, online stuff. Everybody's going crazy. We got a lot of people complaining. Teachers going crazy, parents going crazy, kids going crazy. So we want to try to see if we can help everybody get some answers and maybe some peace and figure out some ways to handle this. So why don't you just start us off with just give us a little background on your teaching history. Maybe give us about 30 seconds of flyover of your teaching career.
Well, I'm just going to say I've been teaching over 10 years, and I've had the opportunity to teach in a urban setting, but it was a suburban area. And also I am now, and that was in Ohio, and now I'm currently in California, and I teach at a very diverse school, very diverse population, and it's at least 2,800 students. And pretty much very diverse as far as social, economic backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, languages, etc. And so, just like many other people, we are teaching currently online. So that means that we are teaching remotely or virtually in order to make sure that we protect ourselves as well as students protecting themselves as a result of this pandemic. And we're doing the very best that we possibly can, and we're working extremely hard to make sure that kids are still being educated and still have everything that they need.
Okay. With teaching online and dealing with LA traffic, would you say that you've kind of been excited to be able to teach online this fall?
I'm definitely excited to teach online because I'm not having to deal with traffic. So that is a major plus, because sometimes, just depending on when I'm leaving the building, it can take me an hour to hour and a half to 2 hours to get home. So I do not miss the traffic, but I will say that I miss the personal contact, being able to actually walk around, talk to students, and to have like traditional groups as far as instead of doing breakout rooms. And Also, it's just being able to have had the opportunity to build relationships. I feel like we can build relationships with our students more in the classroom rather than online, because oftentimes, sometimes kids' screens are black and all you see are black squares with their names, or you might see a picture if someone has a picture. And so that makes it very difficult in order to get to know the student and to get to know the student according to what they look like. So if we were to go back into the classroom tomorrow, I wouldn't even know who some of these students are. I know their names, but I can't put a name and a face together.
Would you
Not
say
for
that's
everyone.
would you say that's one of the biggest challenges being a online teacher, is that you can't really physically connect with the students? So it's kind of, even the students in the class, they can't really build that community that classrooms really need to have.
Absolutely. That is definitely one of the major challenges, and just even trying to build community among your students. So that's also a challenge, because you have the opportunity in person to actually build a community, and to, a lot of times students get to know each other if they don't know certain students, and sometimes they do know some of the students in the class. And so when trying to put students in breakout rooms, sometimes it's just crickets, because they don't necessarily know certain people, and so they rather work on their own than to work with people that they don't know. Versus when we're in person, at least as teachers, we can sort of help facilitate anyone that may be having a difficult time with, like, speaking up or getting involved in a particular group. So that's definitely a challenge.
Okay, so like we have a lot of parents who are struggling with this as well. How can I, as a parent, like really help support the online education process? Because I don't teach. I didn't go to school for education, and it's your job. You're the teacher. That's what all parents say. But I believe it's really our job to teach. But go ahead.
All right, so I see that Crystal says that her daughter is having a hard time and she misses the in-person instruction. She feels like she's on her own. So I just
Hmm.
want to address that first before I address the question. Um, One of the things that I would highly recommend and suggest is that you continue to encourage your daughter to connect with her friends through Snap, through Instagram, through FaceTime, or whatever means that she has the ability to connect with her friends, so that she still have a connection with her friends. And that's just going to be a great thing to do, just to keep some balance with our mental health, because we still need that human connection. And it's not necessarily the human connection that we're used to, but it's definitely one way. And the other thing that I would say is that if parents have mutual families that they know, then they could actually go to CVS and get a free COVID test, and to make sure that they're all good. And basically, they can get together outside with a few other families, so that way that they can have some type of human contact and make sure that they have the ability to, basically interact with other people and know that they're being safe. So again, I don't recommend that unless you all are getting tested and know that you all are good and you're not putting yourself in compromising positions, whereas you're putting yourself more at risk. But that's one opportunity. And the other thing that I would say is that if the student is feeling alone, another thing is a way to connect, especially with teachers, is to attend their office hours, attend study halls, or what we have is called flex. So teachers do make themselves available so that they can provide additional support to students if they feel as though that they need that support. And then, just like we have the ability to set up a Zoom, students have access to Zoom, so they could actually reach out to their friends and have a Zoom and do a study group. So that's something else that I actually recommend. And so I just want to point that out, just for the one parent that actually had put that comment. And then I'm sorry, you're going to have to wheel me back in and help me with the question that you asked me, because I spent a long time on that other.
Well, I was just gonna kind of piggyback and add on. So basically, what you're saying is, like, for students, if they want to keep some type of community with this, is that their parents can get together with other parents in a small little and create their own little bubble, like the NBA
Yes.
did. create a little bubble. Just it basically, in a way, it's kind of a good thing because it forces you to get out and get to know your neighbor or somebody else in the area. And you guys say, okay, we agree that we all go get COVID tested. And once everybody's negative, hey, they can be together and build, just still have some type of human contact. So
Yes.
I still think there's ways to get around it. And people are just acting like there's no options. There's always options. And when there's a will,
Yes.
there's a way. So,
And even
yeah.
if you don't want to clean up or all of that type of stuff, meet at a park. I
Yes.
know that, yes, we are in LA, and so the weather is a little bit different. But even in places
Lot
that
different.
are like Ohio, for example, right now, it's not freezing cold yet. So you have the ability to put on the jackets and whatever you need and actually meet up at a park, go on a trail, go for a walk, hang out that way. So basically, you just have to be creative at this particular point in time. And I believe that you asked me, how can parents be
Yeah.
supportive to their scholars? And so one of the things that I am going to say is that, number one, especially I have high schoolers, so I'm going to start there. Teach your kids to advocate for themselves. So I highly recommend that you are requiring your scholar to check their grades on a weekly basis, to also check their emails, and basically, if they are missing something, then have them reach out to the teacher to say, okay, I know that I haven't turned this in and this is late. I still want to be able to get the credit for it. Do you believe I can still do that? Can you let me know if I can still do that? And so that's teaching the kids responsibility, and it's teaching them to advocate for themselves. And then the parent is not having to do all of that leg work. Plus, you have to start to prep them anyway, because parents are not going to be able to check in with professors. So you want to go ahead and establish that behavior. And outside of that, I would suggest that parents check in with them and see how they can also be of support. So a lot of times teachers will provide feedback on assignments, and then oftentimes a parent will contact the teacher and say, well, why does my son or daughter have this particular grade? So even taking a look at some of the assignments that your scholar ended up producing, look to see what the comments are and see how you can be a support at that particular point. Because it may just be a matter that the student is not following the assignment guidelines, or they're basically not putting forth a lot of effort. So at least you will be able to see what type of effort is being put forth by your scholar, and you'll be able to lend your support as an adult. And so it's basically going to take a village, and that means that teachers, parents, and students need to work together. And if parents have a question, to reach out to parents and ask whatever question it is that they may have.